Hey guys, John from JohnMurrayHeadshots.com here. Happy Tuesday. I'm in the studio. I'm going to shoot some people in the face now. And I had a big conversation yesterday on AI. And somebody asked me yesterday, do I think that AI is going to shut down or kill headshot photography? And I don't. And I'll explain why really quickly. Because this morning I was on the way into the studio and I passed the Celtic Whiskey shop on Dawson Street. And I collect Middleton Very Rare Whiskey, the bottles, the individual bottles. And they all have their own serial number and they all have their own flaws on the bottle and they all have their own bits and pieces going on. And in about 20 years' time, I'm going to sell all of those bottles of whiskey. And in 20 years' time, all of those bottles are going to have to be photographed individually with their own flaws and their own dust on them and whatever else, and then put up as a unit to sell on Celtic whiskey or Irish whiskey auctions or whatever. People are the same. We have our own individual quirks and we have our own individual flaws and we have our own individual bits and pieces going on. We have our own mannerisms and stuff that AI just doesn't get. AI will give you an image that looks similar to you. And we don't have to feel uncomfortable looking at that image because it doesn't have the empathy attached. So empathy is basically, if you're happy, I'm happy with you. If you're sad, I'm sad with you. If you're uncomfortable, I'm uncomfortable with you. When we see a photograph of ourselves on a screen, that person is uncomfortable. We look at it and we feel uncomfortable for that person, and then we blame one thing on our face we don't like, and it's the same thing in every photograph, and it's always there, and we blame that on making us feel uncomfortable, even though it's not that. It's actually the person in the photograph is uncomfortable. But AI doesn't have that because it will give you an image that's not really you. You don't really have to feel uncomfortable or bad about it because it's going to generate an image that you want to play with. You put it up, but it doesn't really represent you because it doesn't know how you move your head and how you inflect and how you learn information and question things. And it doesn't know all of those things. It can't. It physically can't. Now, maybe in years down the line, it will, but still, you can't put in a prompt. Maybe you can and say, I want an image where I look like I'm trying to learn something or I'm being inquisitive. And I favor the left side of my face, but when I'm being inquisitive, I tip my head over to the right and I question things this way. Maybe it's there, maybe it's not, but it's not going to do it in a way that is natural to you. So the same as those bottles of whiskey, every single face is individual, every single person is individual, and how you move and how you respond to different situations can't be replicated accurately by a computer. It has to be you, and it has to be with a decent photographer. But what I think it's going to happen is AI is definitely going to separate the wheat from the chaff. And I'm not just talking about headshot photographers or portrait photographers. I'm talking about all sorts of different photographers. You know, you can AI generate a picture of a Lamborghini very easily, you know, or a bottle of Fahrenheit aftershave I saw yesterday. It was AI generated and it looks fairly accurate. But when it comes to people and individual personalities and all that sort of stuff, it's going to take a lot more and a lot longer for AI to be able to represent you as you. So by all means, play with the AI thing. I made a thing of me looking like a action hero the other day because everybody else is doing it and it was a bit of crack. But it's not going to represent you as you. But they're still nice to play with.